From Program Malaysia, hello and good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Azlani and you're watching Updates at Noon. Making the headlines today, Singapore court rejects Malaysians' death row appeal. And no confidence motion against Imran Khan tabled in Pakistan Parliament. Singapore's top court today dismissed a mentally disabled Malaysian man's last-ditch appeal against the death sentence despite a storm of international criticism. A challenge to previous decisions in the case of Nagentharan K. Dharmalingam and a bid to get proceedings delayed for a psychiatric assessments were both rejected. Chief Justice Sundaresh Menon at the Court of Appeal said the attempt to get a further assessment amounted to a blatant and egregious abuse of the court process aimed at delaying the execution. Nagentharan was arrested in 2009 for trafficking a small amount of heroin into the city-state, which has some of the world's toughest drugs laws, and handed a then mandatory death sentence the following year. He was originally scheduled to be hanged in November, but the plan sparked criticism due to claims he is intellectually disabled, and he lodged the 11th hour challenge at the Court of Appeal. Malaysia is on the right track to reviving its economy as well as strengthening foreign ties that had been much impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said he has initiated efforts to visit ASEAN nations such as Thailand, Brunei and Singapore to re-establish ties with them, followed by countries in the West Asia such as Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. He said this was important in attracting foreign investments to help the country's economic recovery efforts as planned.
Yang bersempadan dengan kita, Singapura, Brunei, Indonesia, Thailand, kita selesaikan dulu. Dan negara ASEAN yang lain di Kampuja. Kampuja kerana Perdana Menteri Kampuja merupakan pengurusi ASEAN. Jadi saya kena pergi. Dan satu lagi adalah Vietnam. Kerana kita mempunyai hubungan dagangan yang agak besar dengan Vietnam.
The Prime Minister said this at a meeting with members of Keluarga Malaysia in Qatar last night. Some 200 Malaysians in Qatar attended the event. Today, the Prime Minister will have an audience with the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, before proceeding to an official luncheon hosted in his honour at Amiri Diwan. Strengthening of Malaysia-Qatar's long-standing and multifaceted cooperation will be high on the agenda during the meeting, and the two leaders will chart a way forward in economic collaboration as well as other post-pandemic recovery efforts and exchange views on international issues of mutual concern. Earlier, the Prime Minister received a letter of commitment for an investment of $360 million from Agrico Qatar. The letter was personally delivered by Agrico Qatar Chairman Ahmed Hussein Al Khalaf in a brief ceremony in conjunction with his visit to Agrico's organic vegetable, mushroom and shrimp farm in Al Khor, about 50 kilometers north of Doha. The Prime Minister and the Malaysian delegation also visited the Balatna farm owned by Balatna Food Industries. The Prime Minister and the Malaysian delegations were also taken on a tour of Balatna's state-of-the-art production of quality milk from Holstein cows using the most advanced rotary milking parlour. Also present was Qatar's Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Sheikh Dr. Faleh bin Nasser bin Ahmad Al Thani. The government is still negotiating with MySJ Sdn Bhd, MySJ as the license holder of MySejahtera application on the terms and subscription of the application. Health Minister Khairy Jamaluddin said the discussion with MySJ included the way forward on the subscription and maintenance of the application. He said the amount MySJ had agreed with Intomo Malaysia Sdn Bhd has nothing to do with the government's latest negotiations.
I've asked for the negotiation to take place, and that's of course why this thing came out in the PAC. There's nothing to hide, we're still negotiating, and of course once the negotiations are done, we will inform what the basis of the contract is. But I had to regularize the services that they provide. I can tell you for a fact that the amount that we are negotiating with, I can tell you for a fact that the amount we are negotiating with MySejahtera is much lower than 300 million. It's far lower than 300 million.
Khairi also hoped the negotiation would be successful so that it is easier for the platform to be used. He reiterated that MySejahtera application, including data usage, is safe and the government will not compromise on the security of data. Coming up next, black soldier fly larva, next big thing in animal feed. The Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development is aware that some police personnel still refuse to accept reports lodged by victims of domestic violence, citing it is a family matter. As such, its Minister, Datuk Sri Rina Harun, advised victims to go to the hospital immediately and get their medical reports.
Ya, daripada hospital itu, laporan daripada hospital itu akan dapat digunakan supaya pihak polis tidak boleh menidakkan laporan yang mereka buat. Yang keempat, kita juga melalui EJKM kita boleh buat dapatkan perintah EPO, protection order, temporary protection order.
The minister said this when asked to comment on the grievance of a small group of domestic violence victims that certain police personnel refused to accept their reports as they involve family matters. Datuk Sri Rina said her ministry would also bring up the matter during engagement sessions with the Home Ministry. The black soldier fly, BSF larva, is expected to be an alternative food source for livestock, and a breeding project focused on the larva is capable of being a game changer and overcome the dependence on imported animal feed. Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Adham Baba said the project under the Keluarga Malaysia Bioremedial Program can reduce the burden of livestock industry operators who currently are dealing with the rising price of animal feed. He also said the production of the fly larva can reduce the agricultural and domestic waste management problems in the country. The minister was met after the launch of the Keluarga Malaysia Bioremedial Program at Kampung Sungai Sudah Muar. The program is under the Malaysia Social Innovation Fund and is implemented by the Malaysian Agro Biotechnology Institute, ABI, ITHA International Institute of Biotechnology Malaysia and IBM, and the Muar Farmers Association. He said his ministry played an important role in consolidating agri-food technology research for livestock feed for Malaysian production as alternative sources of protein. Thus, he expressed hope the potential of the larva breeding program can be explored and developed aggressively to generate income, preserve the environment, and create a more sustainable waste management system. The 45-kilometre stretch road project, which is part of the West Coast Expressway from Tanjung Karang to Sabak Bernam, was completed earlier than scheduled with a cost saving of 31 million ringgit. Senior Works Minister Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusof said the 749 million ringgit project, which started on 21st March 2016 and expected to be ready in March this year, was fully completed on 22nd February. Met after the handover ceremony at Dataran Tonggak Turn Sungai Besar, the minister said the project has also fulfilled the safety requirements such as the use of the New Jersey concrete safety barrier. He said the road project, comprising 4 two-way lanes, also comes with 10 pedestrian bridges, multi-story interchanges and U-turns.
Sasarannya sudah pasti, pertama sekali untuk meningkatkan kesaling hubungan di antara negeri dan daerah, khususnya di Selangor ini yang juga menghubungi negeri Perak. Dan jalan ini nanti akan menghubungi WCE, iaitu highway yang sedang dalam pelaksanaan. Yang diharapkan sebahagiannya akan dapat disiapkan pada tahun 2023. Ada sebahagian kecil lagi akan hanya dapat disiapkan dalam tahun 2024.
Datuk Seri Fadila said it is estimated that daily 19,411 vehicles are expected to cruise the more comfortable and safer route, which would directly be able to encourage economic activities along the West Coast corridor. Coming up in sports, men's doubles coach Flandy bids farewell to BAM. Malaysia has won the bid to host the 2023 Asian Track Cycling Championships, ATC, which will be held at the National Velodrome in Nilai. However, no dates have been fixed yet. This will be the first international track cycling tournament to be hosted by Malaysia since the country was hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. Malaysian National Cycling Federation MNCF Vice President Dr. Amarjit Singh Gill said the championships will carry crucial qualifying points for the 2024 Paris Olympics. According to him, this is good news for the national riders, especially track cycling aces Datuk Muhammad Azizul Hasni Awang and Muhammad Shah Firdaus Sarum, as they will have home ground advantage and the vociferous backing of local fans. Malaysia last hosted the ATC in 2018 at the National Velodrome, and the national squad, led by Datuk Muhammad Azizul Hasni, failed to shine. He only managed to bag a silver in men's sprint and bronze in men's keirin. However, the pocket rocketman did manage to break the 10-second barrier at Southeast Asia level for the first time in his sprint career. Another coach is leaving the Badminton Association of Malaysia BAM coaching setup as men's doubles coach Flandy Limpele decided not to extend his contract beyond 1st April. BAM said efforts were made to offer new terms, but the 48-year-old Indonesians wish to embark on a new journey. The National Badminton Governing Body, however, expressed sincere appreciation to Flandy for his dedication and commitment and wished him success in future endeavours. Meanwhile, Flandy was grateful for having had the privilege to serve BAM for 2 years.
Ini dengan pasti kan buat Olimpik kan sudah selesai Olimpik dengan memajukan performance double lah kan sudah. Saya pikir sudahlah. Saya pun sudah cakap dengan Chun Han waktu Desember. Terus cakap dengan dia. Januari pun saya sudah cakap dengan Datuk Kenny. Cuman mereka ininya ya baru sekarang kan mereka announce. Ya sebenarnya sudah lama lah sudah cakap dengan mereka. Tapi saya pun meninggalkan mereka, mau tinggalkan mereka pun sangat berat lah. Ya karena sudah bikin mereka bagus. Tapi semua itu kan ya sudah ya keputusan saya lah.
Born in Manado, North Sulawesi, Flandy is an Olympics and World Championships bronze medalist in the men's doubles event. Recently, women's single coach Indra Wijaya left the BAM to coach the country's top men's single shuttler Lee Zijia, who turned independent in January, while women's doubles coach Chan Chong Ming resigned last December. The Terengganu hockey team, THT, are gunning for the treble after edging University Technology Mara UiTM 2-1 on aggregate to march into the final of the 2022 TNB Cup. A narrow 1-0 victory in the second leg of the semi-finals at the National Hockey Stadium in Bukit Jalil was enough for THT to chase a third title, having already clinched the Charity Shield and Malaysian Hockey League MHL crown. Coach Roslan Jamaluddin's men played a very defensive game in the second leg of the semi-final, but still managed to get the all-important goal through a penalty corner set piece by Faisal Sari in the 27th minute. The first leg, which was held on Friday, ended in 1-1 draw. THT will take on Tenaga Nasional Berhad TNB in the final after the MHL 2022 runners-up hammered Maybank 5-1 for a 6-3 aggregate win. TNB, who suffered a surprise 2-1 loss to Maybank in the first leg last week, got off to a bright start when Muhammad Azrai Aizat Abu Kamal scored 2 field goals in the 10th and 12th minute. TNB then went 3-0 up through a penalty corner goal by Muhammad Sharif Sabah in the 36th minute before Maybank reduced the deficit through a Muhammad Haziq Samsul field goal in the 59th minute. TNB, however, swiftly struck back with 2 field goals through Muhammad Azrai Aizat Abu Kamal in the 59th minute and Nur Shafiq Sumantri in the 60th minute for a comprehensive win. The title showdown between the THT and TNB will be held at the National Hockey Stadium in Bukit Jalil on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. That concludes today's edition of Updates at Noon. In our top stories, Singapore court rejects Malaysians' death row appeal. Tune in to News at 10, coming up at 10 p.m. on saluran Berita RTM on My Free Views channel 123. You can also stream the news by surfing RTM Click. Thank you, I'm Azlania Dani. Stay tuned to TV2. Goodbye for now.